Flying a bomber in War Thunder is slightly different than a fighter. Of course, you do not have the maneuverability as you do in the fighter, and your role is also completely different. You are to attack those blinking targets down there, that's the vehicles you may knock out, and more importantly, you need to knock out these target markers. This is a normal frontline bomber. The ones on our left over here seems to be dive bombers. Dive bombers are much better utilized to strike the blinking dots down there, which are the moving vehicles. This is because the bomber requires level flight to be able to drop its cargo. Let's see that we are on the correct path. F7 brings you into the bomber's view, and you maneuver the bomber plane by moving your arrows back and your mouse back and forth, and then above the target indicator you'll see that there's a small white arrow that is moving. The reticule that is moving back and forth behind the white line, that is where our bombs are gonna be dropped. We open our bomb bays by Control O, Control Open, and once that small reticule starts coming up on the target, that is when we start dropping. So like now, and we drop all of the payload, we close it, we press U to follow the bombs down towards its target. Actually, first we're going to press F3 and set a course for home. And home is over there. Base destroyed. That was very good news. Now, to a tactical problem. Bombers are generally protected by the high altitude that they initially have. And you see our landing base down there? That is very far away and it's very low. We're gonna have to shut down our engine and start gliding down. Another notice that you need to do when you are flying a bomber is that you should not land from the front line side of the airstrip. You need to go to the back, to the rear, and then come in towards the front line and land that way. Why do you do that? Well, it's quite simple this. Your airfield has very many and quite accurate anti-aircraft cannons. If you try to land from the front line, it means that you're gonna be going very slow and very low in front of your airstrip. And some pilots in the in the realistic mode have specialized on intercepting bombers close to landing. Therefore, if you pass your own anti-aircraft cannons before you try to land, it also means that the enemy fighter needs to do the same, which increases the risk to the enemy fighter. And an opportunistic pilot, which is hunting for easy bombers, probably will not engage you if he has to fly through an anti-aircraft battery to get to you. That's the theory. How the actual gameplay will turn out, that is up to you to discover. We are too high, so I'm gonna dive a little bit and shut down the engine. Maybe keeping about 10%. I want to keep about 170 kilometers per hour, and I see something in the terrain which I don't like. There's a big bump in front of the airfield. Let's put on some more power. I want to keep around 170. Alright, let's flatten this out and shut down the engine and hope for the best. Lift, 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 lift. And it should bounce back down nicely. Once you get below 90 kilometers per hour, you press B to brake and full rudder towards the closest edge of the airfield, and the airplane will hopefully do a nice little cool flip around outside of the airstrip. and you're now no longer in the way of other airplanes. Then we press T to report in that I am reloading. And that was not an equally nice landing, but still on a landing. The pilot is maybe alive. His gunner isn't. Keep the airplane on the ground until you know that the tail is completely off. You want to be above 170 before you start lifting. Once you see that your wheels are off the ground, bring them immediately up and then do a soft turn while softly climbing. Why we do the soft turn and the soft climbing is because we do not want to stall the engine, and we do not want to get too close to the enemy's area of operation before we have some altitude.